Okay. My glasses might help, right? Good evening. Let's call the meeting to order for our December 8th Measure P Committee meeting. Let's do our Pledge of Allegiance. We missed a few meetings, so I gotta get back acclimated. So next we have our roll call.
Chair Jones,
Present.
Vice Chair McDonald, Commissioner Briseno,
Present.
Commissioner Bunch,
Present.
Commissioner Gaddes, and Commissioner Santos.
Present.
Thank you.
All right, next on our agenda is our community forum.
Through the chair, thank you. We went ahead and started a 2-minute timer for interested parties to sign up for the community forum. We currently do not have any members of the public signed up for the community forum. At the conclusion of that timer, if anyone does sign up, I will be sure to let you know. Feel free to carry on with the agenda.
Thank you. The next on the agenda is our consent calendar and approval of the agenda. To approval of agenda and meeting minutes for September 8th, 2025.
I motion to approve the minutes, approve the agenda and minutes for September 8th of 2025.
I second it.
Thank you. We'll go ahead and vote. Chair Jones,
Yes.
Commissioner Briseno,
Yes.
Commissioner Bunch,
Abstain.
and Commissioner Santos.
Yes.
Motion passes with 3 voting yes, 2 absent, and 1 abstained.
Do we have any reports from anybody on the committee? How about our secretary?
I do have a couple of things. First, I want to welcome Commissioner Bunch to the Measure P Committee Commission Group. This is his first meeting, and we're very happy that you have filled a role for us, and we hope you have a great time. I also wanted to recognize the retirement of Commissioner Farrell. He was a longstanding member, to my understanding, and a great part of this team. So I wish him the most success in whatever he does next. I would also like to recognize our acting secretary, Rochelle Bean, who is here on behalf of Florida today. So thank you for her for showing up tonight as well. That's everything that I have.
Thank you. Randy, we just city attorney's report.
I have nothing to report this evening, Chair.
All right, thank you. Do we have a city council representative? Okay, no report from there. We have the acting 3 or 4 hats down there at the end.
So nothing for the city manager's office, but the city council liaison is Councilmember Matias? Is he here? Yeah, okay. So I don't have anything on his behalf.
Which hat are you wearing tonight?
Well, assistant city manager, but also acting finance and finance director, treasury director, but also just here.
Thank you. So we'll go to 10, action calendar.
Thank you, Chair. Action item number A is going to be adopt a resolution recommending, or in the alternative, not recommending, that the City Council authorize $1 million of Measure P funding for traffic calming measures.
All right, good evening, Chair Jones, Commissioners. My name is Oscar Alcantar. I'm the Interim Public Works Director, and I have Debbie Martir here, our Admin Manager. And we're here to request Measure P funds for various projects within Public Works. We're going to start with the traffic calming of $1 million. Go back. Since 2016, we've had 9 locations that residents have called in about asking for these roundabouts for traffic calming. We've also had over 500 requests, and again, this is back since 2016 that we've been tracking these. We talked to a consultant who was able to consolidate them down to 67 viable locations. Each location requires multiple sets of speed, in this case, speed tables. Estimated cost per set, including materials and installation, is about $6,000. Total estimated cost is about $1.9 million for the speed reduction sets, and about, total, and we have 9 roundabouts at $60,000. The $60,000 is based on the recent pilot that we did with the roundabouts throughout the city. It comes out to about $540,000. We currently have $400,000 allocated in our traffic calming toolbox, and we are asking for an additional $1 million to get this project going. Next is the Bay Trail Vine Trail. This is just recently completed.
Excuse me,
Hold on.
Oscar, can I make a recommendation, since these are all agendized separately, that once you finish a presentation of one item, let the board consider what it is, and then we can move to the next one. If they were all in one,
Okay.
then we could keep going, but I think it's better to keep them separate since they're agendized separately.
I have a question. So you said, I see it said over 500, and you said from when? What was the date?
2016 to the present.
So do we have a current accurate amount for, let's say, last year to date?
No, we have the 67 that because we've never had funding for it, and on top of that, we didn't have a policy yet. We just recently completed a policy for the speed tables.
So we're still assuming that there are 500 areas that need speed reduction and 67.
Not that need speed reduction, that have been requested. So residents call in and say, hey, I'd like to get some speed tables in front of my house. That's a request. Based on the consultant's consolidation, we've got it down to about 67.
Okay.
Now, currently, our traffic engineer is reaching out to those 67 and letting them know the policy and the next steps to start.
Thank you.
May I ask what the policy is or where it is? I don't think I knew about it.
Yeah, we just recently passed it about 3 weeks ago, and right now we're directing everybody that wants It's on our website to direct them to reach out to our traffic engineer, Tony Chu, and he sends out the policy to everyone. We will be posting the full policy. We haven't yet.
Yeah, if we could get a copy of it, that would be great.
Absolutely.
The other thing is, you said you consolidated the 500 requests into 67, but when I turn over the page, it looks like we're getting 234 sets plus 9. So how does that math work?
Because the consultant looked at every request and said, is it a viable location, yes or no? And then once the viable location was picked, how many sets is going to be required for that specific location? So it varies from 3 sets of speed tables, 2 sets of speed, 4, depending on the speed at that location.
Okay.
Is there somewhere where we could see where the actual 67, where you're proposing these to go? I tried to look it up, but I couldn't.
Yeah, I can send that out to you, and just want to preface that by saying that these are viable locations. Doesn't mean that, so part of the policy is that if a resident wants a speed cushion or speed table, he needs to get signatures from the neighbors adjacent to that. So just because you call it in and say, I want one, doesn't mean, you're going to get all the signatures. Some people may not want a speed table in front of their house. So we do have that. I can send you a map with all 67 locations.
Are there currently any residents that already have the signatures that?
No, the policy was just recently approved. The only ones that we put in have been at City Park on Louisiana, that area.
So of the 67 that's viable locations, there is a possibility that the neighbors might say no, and the
Correct.
67 might turn into 7,
Correct.
and we've approved for $1.4 million for the traffic calming speed reduction, and it doesn't happen.
There is a possibility that happens, but there's also a possibility that now that we have a policy, that more people are going to say, oh, we do have a policy now, and we expect more calls to come in requesting speed cushions or speed tables. Before the answer was, I'm sorry, we don't have any money.
So for the roundabouts, I know there's a request for 9. That's all we need in the city?
That's all that have been requested. Doesn't
How do
mean-
we come up with that number?
People call in with the requesting, yeah. So we track every person that's called in requesting. We have their information, the location.
And I guess the same thing would apply for this. So although there have been 9 requests, it doesn't necessarily mean 9 will go in.
That's correct.
In the past, the roundabouts that's been put in place, how effective have they been, in your opinion?
Ooh, that's a tough one. We don't have any data to support whether they've worked or not. We don't track, calls. We believe they've worked, but we don't have data to back it up.
Do you know how many have been put in place today?
16.
Okay, on your list where it says the $400K currently allocated to the traffic calming toolbox project, what's the difference between the speed reduction, the roundabouts, and the toolbox project?
It's the same.
Okay. Any more questions? The engineer, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you're good.
The engineer for this, is this the same engineer? You gave a name a minute ago.
Tony Chu?
Is he just for traffic calming, or is he for the whole Vallejo Streets engineer?
He's strictly a traffic engineer.
So he's different than the Nichols consultant engineer?
That's correct.
Thank you.
So I was going to ask, you, your total estimate is 1.9. You have 400 currently allocated. You're asking for 1 million. Where's the other 5 coming from?
Well, as Chair Jones pointed out, we don't know that all 67 are going to be viable. So we're saying that this gives us a good start. We're going to start this year now with the 400. We'll see, how far that million. We may not burn that whole million because again, maybe the residents don't get all the signatures. So that's why we're not asking for the whole 1.9. I don't want to ask for money that just sits then.
Okay, can I get a motion to adopt the resolution recommending, or in the alternative, not recommending, that the City Council authorize $1 million of Measure P funding for traffic calming measures?
Except you have to pick one or the other, either recommend or not recommend.
Recommending.
I second.
Thank you. We will vote. Chair Jones,
Yes.
Commissioner Briceño,
Yes.
Commissioner Bunch,
Yes.
Commissioner Santos. Thank you. Motion passes with 4 approved and 2 absent. The next item on the agenda is action item B, adopt a resolution recommending, or in the alternative, not recommending, that the City Council authorize $50,000 of Measure P funding to maintain the infrastructure of the portion of the Bay Trail and Vine Trail that are within city limits.
So the Bay Trail, Vine Trail was just recently completed. The city's Bayville Vine Trail is a gap closure project that links the trails between Vallejo and American Canyon, completed this year in 2025. The city is obligated to maintain the trail within city limits. Previous Measure P allocations of $20,000 has been fully expended or encumbered. We're asking for $50,000 in this Measure P year for replacement of trail components such as flexible posts, rectangular flashing bars, pedestrian signal push buttons, signs, posts, fencing components, etc., for rapid maintenance response. If you guys have driven down Wilson over to 37, you'll notice that the split rail fence has recently been hit by a car accident, and it blew out a good chunk of the fence. That's a custom fence that we have to then order replacement parts for, just to replace a few of those that were hit. So this is where this ask is from. We have to maintain, the trail. We have delineators. If you drive down Broadway, you'll see a bunch of delineators and bumpers that are taking a beating, and we need to replace those.
I have a question. If there's a car crash, aren't they responsible for fixing the fence?
If you can find them, and I don't know that's the case. In some of these, I think they're more just, we hit the fence and they're gone. So, yeah, if we could find them, we could certainly go after them for damaging the fence.
can we find these people? Was there a police report taken?
On that case, yes. Yes,
Are we going after them?
absolutely.
Who did the assessment for the report
The report.
to determine $50,000 is needed?
Our engineer and staff, because because we blew through the 20,000, very quickly in repair parts. And this is going to vary year to year. I mean, tomorrow or next week, we might have another car accident blow out, a good chunk of it. This is a hard one to pin.
What was the $20,000 already spent on?
On the split rail fence.
The whole $20,000 was spent on the fence?
On that and the plastic delineators, those delineators are $500 a piece.
So we might need to come up with a better solution so that every year we're not spending money on delineators.
You mean a better design, maybe?
Better design, some regular $5 delineators, I don't know. Something that, again, if we're blowing through $20,000 and the ask is $50,000, and I know in the big scheme of the millions that Measure P has, the $50,000 seems like it's nothing, but it is something when you're constantly, year after year, replacing the same item. So, yeah, I think we just need to figure that out better. Which fence did you just say we have to pay for the accident? Is that the one on 37?
37,
The
yeah.
metal fence?
Yeah.
And the city is responsible for that?
We have to replace the, yeah.
Are
We're
we
responsible
responsible?
for the maintenance of that trail. Even though it's adjacent to Caltrans, we're responsible for the trail.
Out of curiosity, for the Vine Trail, because I know it was a big project and there was a lot of other agencies and nonprofits that pitched in for that. Is the city of Vallejo solely responsible for that, or is there other payers that could share this burden?
We're responsible for the trail within the city limits of Vallejo.
We're not the only ones who are responsible for the trail, just our piece that's in our city. So American Canyon has some, they got to pay for theirs. And wherever the thing goes, it's 500 and some, 500 miles
500
long,
miles,
I
yeah.
believe. So different jurisdictions would be responsible.
I'm sure we've asked this question. So, before, not to you maybe, so if Measure P was not here right now, how would Public Works fix this problem? Where would the funding come from?
From our maintenance funds.
From your what?
Our maintenance funds,
And-
which means it would reduce our funds for all the other activities that we already maintain.
So, but it could come from there.
I'm sorry?
But it could come from there.
Yeah, it would. Again,
It
it would
would.
just reduce the level of everything else.
When they built the Vine Trail, if I'm recalling correctly, I believe we signed an agreement that we would take care of it. And so we do have an obligation. So if they didn't get the money from Measure P, it would either come from their existing budget, or they'd have to go ask council to budget an additional amount of money, which would then have to come from some other department to cover that amount.
Any more questions?
Adopt a resolution recommending that the city council authorize $50,000 of Measure P funding to maintain the infrastructure of the portions of the Bay Trail and Vine Trail that are within the city limits.
I second that.
Thank you. We will proceed to voting. Chair Jones,
Yes.
Commissioner Briseno,
Yes?
Commissioner Bunch,
Yes.
Commissioner Santos.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion passes with 4 yeses and 2 absent. Moving on to the next action item C. Adopt a resolution recommending, or in the alternative, not recommending, that the City Council authorize 11 million of Measure P funds for the 2026 roadway paving restoration and renewal projects.
Okay, so cyclical roadway paving restoration project requires planning, engineering, bidding, construction, and inspection, and closeout. In order to deliver these paving projects each summer, fall, these efforts must repeat each year and must be funded each year. For best bid results, paving should be done in the winter, which means planning and engineering work must start well in advance. Public Works is engineering 2 paving projects for summer, fall of 2026 with a total estimated cost of $12 million. $1 million has already been allocated for project design, and the consultant is currently developing the list of streets for 2026. We are asking Measure P Committee for $11 million to fund construction of the 2026 paving projects. This project will go out to bid soon, but we need those funds in order for it to go out to bid.
Did all of the 2025 road projects get completed?
No, actually, the Cape Seal project is currently in construction, and if you drive around the city, you'll see they've been working a lot of the ADA ramps. The paving part of that project, the Cape Seal project, has been delayed because of the weather, so we expect that to ramp up as soon as the weather turns, probably March. And the grind and pave portion of the 2025 should be awarded next week at council.
What's the likelihood of the 2026 getting done in 2026?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
What's the likelihood of 2026 projects being completed in 2026?
We believe it's very good. This project got started a little bit late, but we expect that this project will be ready to go out to bid more than likely in March is our expectation, and we expect it to be completed in 2026. It may not. I mean, if it runs deep into the season and we end up with cold weather again, or we have a rainy winter, early winter, it could slow it down, but we believe it'll get done.
How much of the 2025, that was it 11 million? How much of that has been actually spent? Or it was 12 million?
It's actually 10 million. And is it one? Okay. Right now, we have still 5.5 left. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, 10 million, yes. So of the 10 million, 3 million was allocated for the surface seal project, and the 7 million was allocated for the grind. With the 5 million left, what has been expended so far? How much of the surface seal versus the grind is left if all we got is $5 million left?
The grind hasn't been started yet. It's only going to get awarded next week. So that project won't actually start probably till March of next year.
Okay, maybe so I'm reading from our May 6th agenda where the 10 million was allocated. And the way it's broke down here was 3 million for surface seal project and 7 million for grind. And if the grind did not start yet, where did the other 2 million go?
To the surface seal project, is that?
So we spent 5 million on the surface seal.
How much have we spent?
So I think what he's referenced is the Cape Seal.
Cape Seal,
So
yeah.
the Cape Seal construction contract was awarded in July, from our understanding here. And so basically, what he's pointing out is that 1.2 million has actually been spent. And right now, 3.2 has been encumbered. So it hasn't physically actually been spent, but it's already been allocated. Therefore, there's still 4.4 million left out of the 10 million that has not been allocated. That is a grind and pay portion of the project. It's going to council in December. Yeah, so, yeah, is it the next week?
Yes.
Yes.
How much will that go for?
How much of?
How much is the request going to be of council?
It's just over 5 million.
So it's the rest of the 5.5
Yeah.
million?
So that I'm clear. Of the 10 million that was allocated, how much of that for the surface seal project has been spent?
We don't have like broken down by Cape Seal or versus the grind. We just have it as a grand total. So that would be more of Public Works.
How much have we spent on that?
It's the full amount that's been spent, has all gone to the first project, which I don't know.
The
which-
1.2.
Surface seal.
Just under 5 million. Yeah, it's just under 5 million has gone to the first project. Now, it hasn't been completed yet, so the funds have been encumbered because the project is running.
Okay. So again, and I don't know, yeah, I do have on my glasses. So for the 2025 paving program, Public Works directed NCE to develop a 3 million seal surface project using Cape Seal for local and residential streets. Then I'm gonna skip down a sentence. They didn't have engineering capacity to quickly deliver the pavement rehabilitation project, so Public Works engaged another on-call engineering firm, Coastland Engineer, to engineer the 7 million grind and overlay paving project for major collector roadways and carry heavier traffic loads. So it's broke down here. So you're saying that it's not going to be broken down?
It is broken down. We're asking for 5, again, next week, we're going to go to council, ask for 5.7 million, I think it is, 5.7 million for the grind and pave.
But the 10 million has not been spent, right?
That
Right.
is part of the 10 million.
It's two sub-projects within the 10 million allocation. So the first part of it is the Cape Seal part, which was 3.5, 4 million. And then next week, they'll go to award the second, the grind and overlay portion of it, which will be the 5.5 million or so. So once all contracts are awarded and all projects are complete, the full 10 million will be spent.
Yeah, I think what happened was, it was so late in the year, because when we were talking, I can't remember the guy's name, when we were talking to him, it was allocated in May, and we said, why is it coming so late? Because we had just finished up another project, and he said for 2026, they would plan better, so that's why they did the 1 million engineering piece of it, and then they were going to come back to us for the 11 million. But in May, when they did this, then they were allowed to then go out for the engineers to then, do the construction and whatever prep that has to be done. So I guess the 4.7 million was the first project, which was done, I guess, July through kind of now. And then the next one is going to the city council for a little over 5 million. But that one won't get done until March,
Get started in March.
started in March.
Yeah.
The first one is started but won't complete until probably March because of the weather.
Correct.
Did I get it right?
That's correct.
So the bottom line that the money hasn't been depleted. The money that you're asking for right now is for 2026, which probably won't happen to 2026, 27.
We believe it'll happen in '26.
That's next month, right?
Yeah, but the engineering portion, that's the long pole in the tent, as I can attest to.
And I guess my next question would be, so, and I don't know if this is an engineering question, how are we deciding, and I know we asked, if we're being equitable across the city with these replacements, even from the calming, traffic calming to this road repair? How are we deciding what's the priorities? I did try to take a look at the map that I got in the email that even when I blew it up, I could not read it. So I did not, in seeing the map, see where it was being equitable across the board with the repairs, whether it was well, definitely it was no seal, no surface seal projects going on in certain districts. So how are we determining which streets we're going to repair so that everybody is getting a piece of this repair going on? And not just, I think oftentimes, of course not saying it happens here, but we'll paint a little curve and say we did it in this district, and then go back over to Glen Cove and pave the pretty streets or come down. And I in downtown and these areas when Minnie Drive, Griffith Street, there's areas in the other districts that need road repair. And what happens is, in my opinion, we know that it needs major work in on some of these streets, so we go after, let's slurry seal this, but it's constantly and continuing to deteriorate the other road repair. So at what point do we decide to actually repair these streets and do the whole grind project in these areas that need it?
So when this paving project got started, the first year, the strategy was let's get as much of the roads covered as we could. So we did a lot of cape seal, a lot of slurry seal, not a lot of deep grinding, as you're saying, right? Because we wanted to really make a difference quickly to Vallejo. Now, the direction to the engineers is, as the whole city has a PCI. Every street has a PCI, right? And based on that, our direction to the engineering group is we have to spread it across each district. We can't focus on one district over another. Now, almost by default, because we use a PCI, an older district is going to have a lower PCI. It's going to be older roads, so they're going to get more attention than the newer districts, right? You notice on that map, it showed all of Mare Island as a disadvantaged community, and yet when you look at the PCIs, you see the roads are pretty good on Mare Island. So we're not spending any dollars on Mare Island. We're spending it elsewhere. And to your point of certain roads that are really bad, you're right, that we try to manage the funds in a way that if a contractor has to grind 4 inches and put 4 inches of asphalt, he's going to wipe out all the millions in that one road, right? So we keep them off those roads, and if there's certain roads, for instance, Gateway, we just recently paved Gateway with our internal forces. So if we think, no, this the contractor's going to really, it's going to cost us too much, we'll take on that street and do it with our own forces.
And our own forces is a part of our regular Public Works Department. They don't just concentrate on street repair.
That's correct.
So could we hire a team just to concentrate within our city to concentrate on street repairs? How many people are on that team?
We have limitations in our municipal code on that require us to go out to bid for projects that are over a certain dollar amount.
And that's a small team. There's only 11 full-time staff budgeted positions on that team. However, we never have 11, and right now we have 8. And so we don't, like I said, we pick and choose how can we best help the project. Another example is a lot of these roads that have, if you drive down, how should I say, Tuolumne or Broadway, you'll see that there's ruts where the wheel ruts, right? So if we give that to a contractor and say, just grind that whole road 4 inches, and again, they'll burn through that money. So we'll take our forces, we'll dig deep into that rut, make the repair, get it even, and then have the contractor grind 2 inches across and hit everything. So we're trying to help the project as much as possible with our internal forces.
Well, since we have to hire a contractor, per se anyway, over the long haul, would it not just benefit to have the contractor just do the work, even though what are we really saving there? If we're doing some of the work now, and then they have to still come back and finish the work, or grind some more and do the work, what are we talking as far as dollar amounts that we're really saving? Whereas we can see if the street is just done and it costs whatever dollar amount it would be to complete it, then we're seeing the streets getting completed in a more timely fashion. And so I think, for me and maybe a lot of our residents in Vallejo, visual is everything. What you may say is a small portion that costs $1 million, right? We may see that $1 million was well worth it, because now when I drive down that street, it feels like Redwood, right? One of the streets that was repaired, right?
Yes.
And so, again, what are we? I know maybe on the front end, it may appear that we're really saving, because, again, we know that the cost of material is constantly increasing. So if we do, for example, in 2020, well, we're out of 2025, 2026, we spend $1 million for, I'm just going to, use my imagination, which I know, for a mile worth of, and you and I both know, these are just hypothetical, we know,
Yeah.
that this time next year, a mile might cost $2 million, right? But if we just have a contractor that has the time to do it, we might get that done now at a lower rate than waiting to next year to get it done. Or those would be the ones that I'd be more apt to, let's lock that contractor in to a 2 or 3 year project that they bid to do X amount of area for X amount of dollars, and we see the more work being done for the $10 million that the ask is providing.
Yeah, we're not slowing them down at all. In fact, we're trying to help them speed up by doing the minor repairs. Because the way that every contractor, every paving contractor makes money is they have a team that does this every day, day in and day out, right? And they have these tools. Now, if they're set up to grind 2 inches and move fast, But then there's a repair there that they got to stop, they got to dig out 4 inches, they got to compact it, they got to bring rock. That slows them down, and that brings our prices up, right? Because we're slowing them down with that repair. So what we're doing is we're getting out in front of them and fixing that repair so that when he comes by, he's just running.
So, out of curiosity with this, for those 2-inch grinds versus the 4-inch grind versus the ceiling, what's the life expectancy for those? So like if you do that 2-inch grind on it, can we expect 5 years from now, we're not going to redo the road again? Or 10 years? How long does it last?
If we're doing a 2-inch grind like we did on Redwood Street, we expect that thing to go 10 to 15 years easy. Yeah.
Is that with or without a seal in those 10 or 15 years?
Without. Yeah. And now keep in mind that may change if we go out to the meadows where the fill. Now you're in a different base. Now you're in mud fill almost, right? It may change the years a little bit, but if you're anywhere away from the water, you're going to be good.
The project locations on your map is what we're looking to do in 2020, the rest of 2025, 2026?
2020. Let me see which map that is.
It's the one that has 4 contract awarded base and then bid alternatives.
That's 2025. Yeah, which will be done in early 2026.
Has any of this already been completed?
No. Again, we're just going to go to council next week for award.
Do we have the map of what's going to be done in '26? Or at least the list of the streets?
We have the streets. I don't like to publish them because once we go out to bid, those can change. If the bids come in low, we add streets. If they come in high, we're taking streets out based on the money that we have. And I hate to put it out and then go, Chair Jones, we're going to do your street, and then come back and go, oh, we're short on money, so we're going to pull it out. And then you're going to say, you told me you were going to do it. What happened? So I'd like to publish that once we have the bids come in. We know these are going to get done. Then we publish the streets.
If you wanted to see the map, I'm sure that Oscar would be happy to have you come to his office and take a look at it
Yes.
anytime you want to.
Absolutely.
And the main indicator that you're using to assign the streets is the PCI condition of the road.
Correct.
So those with the worst PCI are going to get priority over those with,
Not necessarily. Yes and no. We have certain, again, the first go at this, we went with streets that were in higher PCIs to try to get more of them done because it's going to cost us less. The lower PCIs, it's going to cost us, we're going to do less streets. In fact, if you compare the 2025 Cape Seal, the amount of streets versus the grind and pave, the grind and pave is just a few streets because it's a lot more costly.
Can someone refresh my memory? I had a lot of papers here. Remember when we were going to, I know it's off the table, but remember when the city had to ask for the bond? They were going to do the bond for however many millions of dollars over a certain period of time? And then the city decided that we couldn't do the bond measure. Give me a minute. You know, I'm from Mississippi, so.
Well, I'm from Tennessee. I ought to be able to
that was a dollar amount over a certain period of time. You remember the
It
dollar
was
amount?
$100 million
100 million
over 10 years.
over 10 years.
That would be expended over 10 years. The life of the bonds would probably be either 30 or 40 or 45 years.
And
It never got that far.
right. Okay, but the city was going to be, over that 10-year period, the streets would have been done, right?
A good chunk of the streets would have been, not all the streets. Even that wasn't enough to cover all the streets. But yes, it would have been, start to finish.
So if we're allotting 10 million every year, would be safe to say in about 8 to 10 years that there would be a large percentage of the streets in Vallejo?
Absolutely, absolutely. In fact, as soon as next year, when we get the 2025 streets done, because we're going after the big street, the Tennessee, the Georgias that are in bad shape, I think visually you're going to see already a big difference. But yeah, in 8 to 10 years, it's going to be a new city.
Are you going to still be around? Because I'm going to hold you to that.
I'll be,
I'm going to hold you
somewhere.
to that. I think that, of course, this is one of the measures that was passed, without the priorities for the citizens of Vallejo. I think that if the money is going to be spent for what is the ask is, I think, of course, I don't have a problem with approving that. But I think where I struggle with is money being set aside and not being spent and going over to the next year, and it's confusing to what's been done and what's not being done. Okay, now we got 5 million. So everybody's saying 2026, and I'm thinking that's next month. We haven't even finished 2025, right? So what's the likelihood in 2026 that we're going to really do $10 million worth, or whatever the ask, and complete it in 2026? No matter what the weather is, we can look at the Farmer's Almanac and figure out most of that. But so are we going to have a public works bank for slurry and grinding where the money is going to be sitting, if not used, in 2026?
No, we're going to do everything in our power to use that money in 2026. Absolutely.
Because we also have I don't think it has applied to public works, but so far, but after so many days, you get questioned why the money hasn't been used, and it goes back to Measure P funds.
Well, a lot of that is because Rochelle doesn't give us the money to spend it, so then we have to go back and go, Rochelle.
Better get you an extra team out there and spend that money. Okay.
I think
Chair,
it's possible.
I'm sorry. I was just going to say one thing that I remember because I was at most of these meetings, and I'm certainly not a public works person, but I think last year staff asked for the money in May, which made it more difficult to get that money spent in 2025. That's why I think they're here in December this year, so that they can try and ensure that they do spend it in 2026.
Yeah, so they have like a 5-month or 6-month jump. I think we scolded them in May.
Last time. That's why they're back now.
Any more questions?
I don't have any more questions.
Adopt a resolution recommending that the city authorize $11 million of Measure P funding for the 2026 roadway paving restoration and renewal projects.
I second. Save you from it.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll proceed to voting. Chair Jones?
Yes.
Commissioner Briceño?
Yes.
Commissioner Bunch?
Yes.
Commissioner Santos? Thank you. Motion passes with 4 approved and 2 absent. Our next item on the agenda is action item D. Adopt a resolution recommending, or in the alternative, not recommending, that the City Council authorize $500,000 of Measure P funding for pothole repairs.
Pothole repairs. Since 2022, the city has contracted with Jet Patcher to repair potholes citywide, completing approximately 5,265 repairs to date. The Measure P committee previously recommended and council approved allocation of $1 million in early of 2024 for this work. The budget will be fully expended by early 2026.
So it took 2 years to spend the $1 million for the pothole. So 2024. And now we're ending 2025, and that $1 million was spent over that 2-year period?
Mm.
And these potholes won't get covered in the grind or the slurry project?
Some may, some may, yeah.
How do we determine which pothole, like if I call you the number tomorrow and say I have a pothole in front of my house, how do we determine if you're going to send, what's the company, Jetpack out to repair my
Jetpatcher.
pothole?
If you call after hours and say, I've got a big pothole in front of my house, we send somebody out. We send somebody out and he puts cold patch on it, right? If the calls come in during the day, we start accumulating the calls and we give them a list and we say, okay, here's 20 that came in, yesterday, go ahead and do them. The one issue with the system that he uses is that like paving, he can't, right now he's not working because it's too cold, right? So then our crews have to go out and put cold patch on. The downside to that is the cold patch doesn't stay very long. If we get some rain, it rolls out. So the system that they use, the Jet Patcher uses, is very fast and it's very efficient. If you go down Main Street, you'll see that first street, the first section just west of Sonoma. We paved it with our own crews. Pavement looks beautiful. As soon as you get past that first street, the road was terrible, terrible. You drive by it today and you'll see where, you can see that there's a little patch, but I mean, it looks day and night, and that was the Jet Patcher.
And what technique are they using?
They have a proprietary truck that literally, it doesn't dig out a pothole. It blows out the dust, it puts out the glue, essentially the emulsion, and then it fires small aggregate with glue onto it. So it's like blowing rock into the patch, and it holds up pretty well. We have a 2-year guarantee. If anything blows out, he's got to come back and repair it. But it's very fast.
And so we'll be using Jet Patcher with his $500,000, or?
Yeah. And we expect to use them less and less, as we get more streets paved.
Mm-hmm. Any more questions? Adopt a resolution recommending that the City Council authorize $500,000 of Measure P funding for pothole repairs.
A second.
Thank you. Proceed to voting. Chair Jones?
Yes.
Commissioner Briceño?
Yes.
Commissioner Bunch?
Yes.
Commissioner Santos?
Yes.
Thank you. All approve. Motion passes with 4 approving and 2 absent. Our last item on the action calendar is item E. Adopt a resolution recommending, or in the alternative, not recommending, that the City Council appropriate $500,000 of Measure P funding for ongoing litter and illegal dumping cleanup and prevention efforts.
Is this, so I noticed on the budget where there was an outside contractor, Vallejo, that
Healthy
did some.
Vallejo, yeah.
So would they, the work that they do fall under this litter and illegal dumping cleanup?
Correct, as well as House of Acts.
And so is this for, well, I don't know if they actually had to go after a RFP or they were just simply contracted with you guys?
We went out, we put out an RFP, competitive RFP. It had to be a nonprofit, though.
Mhm. And so the likelihood for this $500,000 that it will be used by another nonprofit that's doing the work, or is it for the city to do the work?
No, this will be another RFP for another competitive nonprofit.
Okay.
Chair Jones, do you want him to do the presentation so the public knows
Oh.
what we're talking about?
Yes.
All right. Illegal dumping and trash accumulation continues to be a significant issue impacting aesthetics, health, safety, and the environment. $500,000 of Measure P budget was allocated in 23-24 to work with nonprofits and local businesses on illegal dumping, cleanup, outreach, and prevention efforts. To date, the following of the initial $500,000 allocations has been expended or encumbered, approximately $45,000 for the 2024 free dump day, 2 local nonprofit groups contracted for illegal dumping, litter, and debris collection, House of Acts and Healthy Vallejo. We were asking for an additional $500 to continue prevention efforts, contractual services, waste disposal, and public outreach to address illegal dumping, enhance health and safety and protocol environment. Just want to add that if you've driven down and seen the railroad tracks lately, they look fantastic, and that's thanks to Healthy Vallejo and House of Acts.
I agree. It does look wonderful. I think, but my question is that with the railroad tracks, how do we determine if it's our responsibility, the city of Vallejo's responsibility, or if it's the railroad?
Because we own the railroad, we have a section of road that we own, that the city owns.
Oh,
Yeah, all the way to Sereno, and it's the most western track from Sereno all the way to the island.
okay.
And that's the only one we do. We don't do the western, Southern Pacific track.
And I mean, I know the railroad track, and that was a big portion, but they do other areas throughout the
Oh,
city.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
I guess if I had waited and you did your presentation, my initial questions.
So did their contracts go through 2025? Is that why there were no funds? Because these were funds from 23 to 24, right?
Yes,
Nothing from
and we
24
still
to
have,
25?
we still haven't expended all the funds. So this 500 would be for 26 and beyond, we expect.
But the expectation that by the end of 2026, the 500,000 will be,
No, we don't believe it'll be completely expended in 2026.
what would be the better number?
What do you think? $250, probably? Yeah, 250?
And you're saying that it won't be spent in 2026 because by the time you get the money, it'll be too far down the line, or?
So we have the two contracts. Those have not been fully expended yet. We've encumbered everything we have to date. So this additional budget would then ensure that those services would continue. But yes, most likely it would go into fiscal year 26, 27. On the budget side of things, that is the other item that even though if you approve the recommendation tonight, we still have to go through the budget process, amend the budget. If we have to go out for an RFP, award new contracts, that's more time before we can actually spend the money.
On the contracts with the nonprofits, we typically do multiple year contracts. So it's usually a 3-year contract with options to extend for another 2 years would be the typical amount of time. So I believe that at least the House of Acts contract, we just renewed that one not too long ago. The Healthy Vallejo one, I'm not sure where that one's at off the top of my head, but I'm sure it'll be coming back. But again, they're always multi-year contracts.
So the way the money is structured is really just to cover the contracts that are out there.
The
Right.
continuation of those, yes.
Yep.
Any more questions? All right, let's adopt a resolution recommending that the city council $500,000 of Measure P funding for ongoing litter and illegal dumping cleanup and prevention efforts.
I second.
Thank you. We'll proceed to voting. Chair Jones?
Yes.
Commissioner Briceño?
Yes.
Commissioner Bunch?
Yes.
Commissioner Santos?
Yes.
Thank you. Motion passes with 4 approving and 2 absent.
Okay. Where, yeah. Oh. All right, now we're on the informational calendar? No? Okay. Future agenda items?
I do have one.
Hold on, I'm sorry. Thank you.
Thank you. For the future agenda items, I'd like to see where we are on funding for iHeart for the next year. Because I think that money is up in July, if I'm correct?
The most current update on that is that they are still pursuing grants at this time.
I know, which makes me twitch.
But they wouldn't even be allowed to come back. That was a one-time ask of Measure P. So,
They can ask you again.
well, they can ask, but they can ask, but that was the one of the deals. Yeah. You know what I would like to add on the agenda. I'm trying to think of. I don't know if it's would be called the. Before the meeting, I thought I was all organized and had everything. Remember when Jasmine, our former chair, asked for us to set up some procedures and put some things in place? It was a resolution asking for I think we still need to do that. You don't remember, Randy?
I do. I think it was something that needed to go and get council authority, and so that, right, and so that would be something for you guys to dig out and take to council for them to discuss and figure out what they want to do.
There were several, and unfortunately, I
right.
left my packet at home. I brought it downstairs,
I
it just
re-
didn't make it out of the house.
I recall the resolution. I'll help
Okay,
Andy dig
thank
that
you.
out.
But there were like 4 of them that she had
Yeah,
presented.
it was. And did we? And that included the way the financial updates, or was that something different for the committee work plan?
I think there was something in there for financial updates.
I think there was too.
Oh,
I don't remember
Okay.
exactly what it was, but we'll try and
We'll-
figure that
yeah.
out.
Okay. Yeah,
And
I think it's
think that-
important that we get that on the agenda and work that out so that when we've been presented with things that the questions can already be, a lot of the questions can be asked and
Sure.
information provided prior to the meeting. I mean, coming here.
I think some of it actually, Reka may have actually implemented before she left.
Right, and I think that
Yeah.
was, I did see, it was the way she, yes, you're right.
Some of the reporting stuff, that is, that I think she actually changed her reports to align with
Oh, the
that,
reports.
those recommendations. That's what I remember, but again, it's been a while and I can't remember
I know, we
everything.
gotta start meeting more often. Okay. Well, we'll find it and make sure it's on the
We
agenda
will,
for the next
yes.
meeting. Oh, that was the project summary and justifications that she did. And those were nice, yes. All righty then, let's see. 7:12, we have 45 more minutes? No, just kidding. Do we have anything else? Anybody want to, for the agenda items or any other comments, concerns? All right then, this meeting's adjourned at 7:12.